Hi guys, did you think about your eating habits, by the way? Did you think about the meals you are having on everyday basis? And did you think that a lot depends on it, right? That your health, your future, your fortune depends on it, right? On your eating habits, on your meals, right? Hello guys, so today we're going to speak about meals, right? By the way, how many meals a day do you have? Bugun demak ovqatlanish haqida gapiramiz yana. Bir kunda necha marta ovqatlanasiz? Shuni bilmoqchi edim men. Qarang, in many countries people have 3 meals a day or 4 meals a day or even 5 meals a day. Which is not a very good idea, that's not very good. When you eat 5 times a week, 5 times a day or 6 times a day, that's really a burden for your digestive system, right? Each time you eat something, that food causes insulin spike in your bloodstream, and it can cause diabetes and it can cause many other digestive problems, issues, and that's why eating too often is not a very good thing, right? Our digestive system needs some recovery time, at least 6 hours or 8 hours recovery time. Demak, bir kunda 5 marta, 6 marta, 4 marta ovqatlanish uncha yaxshilikka olib kelmaydi, chunki har safar ovqat yeyilganda qondagi insulin moddasi oshadi. Buni masalan bir kunda 4 marta, 5 marta qilsak agar, 4 marta, 5 marta insulin oshaversa, bu albatta uncha yaxshilikka olib kelmaydi. Qandli diabet bo'lmasa ham baribir shunga yaqinlashtirib qo'yishi mumkin. Shuning uchun 2 marta, yaxshi bo'lsa 3 marta ovqat tanovul qilgan ma'qul, right? In my opinion, it's better to have 2 meals a day or at least 3 meals a day, but not more, right? And many specialists and nutritionists speak about importance of breakfast, right? Morning meal. But I don't agree, because in the morning people don't have any appetite. In the morning don't want to eat anything, right? Because during the night you've been sleeping, you haven't been working, and that's why you can't be hungry in the morning. Maybe some people are hungry in the morning. That's okay. Let them eat their big breakfast or just light breakfast. It's up to them. Let them eat their breakfast. But usually, I think in many cases or in some cases, people don't have any appetite, but they think that breakfast is very important and they force themselves to eat something. Ba'zan ertalab insonlar ishtahasi bo'lmasa ham tiqishadi nimadir. Mana bu nima? Ertalabki rizqingdan qaytma, ertalab yemasa bo'lmaydi degan fikrlar. Menimcha bu noto'g'ri, chunki ertalab odamda o'sha ishtaha bo'lmaydi-da. Eng yomon ovqat nima ekan? To'q qoringa yeyilgan ovqat. Ya'ni yegingiz kelmayapti, lekin tiqyapsiz. Eng yaxshi ovqat qanaqa ovqat ekan? Och qoringa yeyilgan ovqat, right? The best food is the food you are eating for your empty stomach, right? You are hungry, you are really hungry, and you are eating, and every bite of that food is delicious, sweet, tasty. And that food is the best food for you, the best nutrition for you. And the worst food is when you eat just when you're full, right? You don't have any appetite, you're full, you don't want to eat, but you force yourself to eat, and it is the worst food because it causes many problems, digestive problems, maybe psychological problems, and many others. In the morning, when you want to go to work, just big breakfast is not a very good idea, because when you eat too much in the morning, as I told you before, your blood goes to your stomach to digest the food you have eaten, right? But your brain needs that blood to work efficiently. If you are a teacher or a manager or just whatever, you are doing that intellectual job, and for that job, your brain needs that blood, that oxygen. But instead of just supporting your brain with oxygen, your blood goes to your stomach to digest the food you have eaten. And that's why you get sleepy, you get drowsy, and you lose efficiency. Ertalabdan ko'p ovqat yeb olsangiz nima bo'ladi? Demak, qon oshqozonga boradi. O'sha yegan ovqatingizni hazm qilish uchun Bizlar aqliy mehnat insonlari bo'lganimiz uchun bizga miyamizga qon kerak, kislorod kerak. U qon miyaga emas, oshqozonga boradi. Uyqusirab, talmovsirab demak, uncha yaxshi fikr emas deb o'ylayman. Ertalabdan ko'p ovqat yeb olish. Okay, if you want to have some breakfast, if you want to eat something in the morning, I think your breakfast should be as light as possible. Just as light as possible. Maybe an apple, maybe 2 apples, or some dates, or apricots, dried apricots, or some raisins and walnuts. That's it, right? That's it. That's more than enough, right, in the morning. Because, and in addition to that, I should tell you that when you wake up in the morning, your stomach doesn't, right? I think I've spoken about it before. When you wake up in the morning, for example, you wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning, your stomach doesn't wake up with your brain. It wakes up 4 hours later, your brain wakes up. It means if you wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning, your stomach wakes up at 11, which means you give a lot of job. If you just have big breakfast, you give a lot of job from early morning to your sleepy stomach. And that's not a very good thing, right? That's not a very good thing. That's why I think it's a good idea to have brunch, breakfast and lunch. Late breakfast and early lunch, it is called brunch, right? At 11 o'clock, you can have brunch, which is great, because at 11 o'clock, your stomach wakes up and you just want to eat something, you have some appetite, and you're a little bit hungry, and you can have that food, and that food will be digested successfully, and you'll get all nutritions from the food you eat at that time, right? But if you eat when you don't want to eat anything, that's not a very good thing. Demak, ertalabdan mana ishtaha bo'lmasa ham ko'p narsani tiqib olish endi juda ham yaxshi fikr emas. Chunki yana o'sha boyagi aytganimdek, bizga ishlashimiz uchun miyamizga qon kerak, bizga tetik bo'lishimiz kerak. Bundan tashqari, ertalab biz uyg'onganimizda, miyamiz uyg'onganda hali oshqozon uyg'onmagan bo'ladi. Masalan, biz ertalab 7 da uyg'onsak, oshqozon 10 da, 11 da uyg'onadi. Ya'ni 4 soatdan keyin uyg'onadi ekan. Hindistonlik yoglarning fikricha, oshqozonimiz 4 soatdan keyin uyg'onadi, biz uyg'ongandan keyin. Bu degani soat 11larda, demak oshqozon sal o'ziga kelgan bo'ladi. Bizlar o'sha uyqusirab yotgan oshqozonga ertalabdan kattagina ish berib qo'yamiz, ya'ni katta nonushta qiladigan bo'lsak, ertalabki nonushta, ertalabdan uni ish bilan yuklab, o'zi uyqusirab zo'rg'a hali uyg'onmagan organga ko'pgina ishni yuklab tashlaymiz. I think that's not very good, right? And in my opinion, we have to have our breakfast as late as possible. And we have to have our dinner, and I think evening meal, as early as possible, right? 3 or 4 hours before going to bed, right? Because if we eat a lot before going to bed, for example, if we go to bed at 10 o'clock and if we have our our dinner at 9 o'clock or 9:30, and then immediately go to bed, the food will be spoiled in our stomach, because when we get asleep, our stomach will get asleep too, right? It means the food we have eaten in the evening will be spoiled in our stomach, in our digestive system, and it will cause problems, right? It will cause many problems. You see, our digestive system needs just the recovery time. We have to give it some relaxation, some time for relaxation, some time for recovery, at least 6 hours or 8 hours, right? And it will recover. At night, when we don't eat anything, it recovers slowly. But again, if we give it some more time in the morning, it is even better, because as I told you before, in the morning, our stomach is sleepy. It doesn't wake up immediately with us, right? Demak, bizning hazm qiluvchi sistema, ya'ni oshqozonchak sistemasi o'zini tiklab olishga vaqt kerak. Hech bo'lmaganda 6 soat. Yaxshi, undan ham yaxshi 8 soat. Bu degani 6 soat, 8 soat ishlasa emas kerak, iloji boricha. Hadeb narsani tiqib olmas kerak. Ana o'shanda u o'zini o'zi tiklab oladi. Bu shunaqangi bir qudratli bir sistemaki, kerak bo'lsa toshni ham hazm qilib yuboradi, o'sha boyagi ozgina dam berilsa. But unfortunately, not surprisingly, food is everywhere. In the street, at home, in our fridge, in our cafes, just in our office, just everywhere. In our bags, right? In our pockets, candies, cookies, cakes, chocolates. It means that we just eat nearly all the time, or we see food, which is not very good too, right? And we just are just surrounded with food, right? We are surrounded with food. It is good. It means that we are living in a good time, but it's not very good for our digestive system. It's not very good for our health, right? Demak, ovqat hamma joyda. Ko'chalarda ham, mana magazinlarda ham, oshxonalarda ham, даже ofislarda ham, bizni cho'ntaklarimizda ham konfet, manfet, umuman ovqatga cho'milib yashaymiz-da. Hamma joyda ovqat bosib ketgan. Bu juda yaxshi narsa emas. Yoki yemasak ham ko'rib turamiz o'sha ovqatni. That's not very good. That is not very good, right? In the past, just problems with digestive system were rare, seldom. But now, 95% of illnesses are connected with our digestive system, our stomach, our intestine, our liver, etc. Right? It means we eat improper food and we eat improperly and we eat too much and too often, right? Ilgari mana oshqozoncha kasalliklari ko'p bo'lmagan. Hozir bu juda ham ko'payib ketgan. 95% kasalliklar, demak, oshqozoncha kasalliklari to'g'ri kelar ekan. Kechirasiz, 95% dorilar, aptekaga kirsangiz 95% dori oshqozoncha kasalliklariga qarshi. If you enter any chemists, you can see that their drugs and remedies and tablets are against illnesses just related to stomach, to your digestive system, which means we eat improper food and we eat improperly. We eat just too often and too much, right? And this tendency can be seen everywhere, but especially in developed countries, like the United States, United Kingdom, European countries, and lots of people are suffering from obesity, right? They say that in the United States, 70% of people are obese, right? They are suffering from overweight, right? Or obesity. And it is because of fast food, and it is because of affordability of food, which is everywhere, right? And which is cheap and affordable for everybody. But I think our health condition is much more important, much more difficult to recover, right? Mana masalan, rivojlangan davlatlarda demak semizlikdan aziyat chekayotganlar juda ham ko'payib ketgan. Hozir masalan AQShda 70% inson ortiqcha vazndan aziyat chekmoqda. Boshqa Yevropa davlatlarida ham, rivojlangan davlatlarda demak ortiqcha vazndan azob chekayotgan bemorlar juda ham ko'p. Right? Obesity causes many other problems, heart attacks, insults, and skeletal problems, spine problems, bone problems, fractures, and many others, right? And psychological problems, because fat people are ugly and they understand that they're ugly, right? Which is really, really annoying for them, right? I should tell you that when you eat, when you want to eat, when your stomach is empty, you feel that food you're eating, right? And you feel its taste, its structure, its texture, right? And you get a lot of pleasure. Just you enjoy your food, right? You really enjoy your food, and your life becomes much more colorful and much more joyful, happy. But when you eat just non-stop, you don't feel the taste of the food you're eating. And I think that's stupid, right? And that's much better to eat food when your stomach is empty, when you are hungry, right? Demak, och qoringa ovqat yeganingizda ovqat ta'mini ham bilasizda, maza qilasizda. Haqiqatan ovqat shunaqangi mazali tuyuladiki, bir bayramga aylanadi har safar bunday ovqat yeganingiz. Tinimsiz ovqat yeganlar ovqat ta'mini ham bilmaydi. Xuddi somonga o'xshab tiqaveradi. даже ovqat ta'mini ham bilmay qolaveradi. Atak mana masalan boydagi yaxshigina tanaffus bo'lsa 6 soatlik, 8 soatlik ochiqab ovqat yesangiz, demak har safar ovqat yeganingiz bu kichkina bir bayramday bo'lib qoladi va o'sha yegan ovqatingiz albatta sizga naf, foyda keltiradi.